Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayers. And let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. That is a quote from the late Maya Angelou. Today, I am going to talk about some benefits of gratitude. And I'm listing a few. There are many others, and I don't have them in any particular order. So let's get started. According to Psychology Today, developing an attitude of gratitude is one of the simplest ways to improve your satisfaction with life. I will put the link to that article in the description box below. So let's get to it. Gratitude improves physical health. According to a 2012 study published in Personality and Individual Differences, grateful people are more likely to take care of their health, exercise more often, and are more likely to attend regular checkups. People who are grateful have a positive outlook on life. They do the things necessary to help them live longer. Doesn't mean they're perfect. They're all working on things, but they understand the importance of taking care of their physical health. So that's one of the benefits of gratitude. It improves physical health, improves self-esteem. People who are grateful, you can kind of tell, they don't compare themselves to other people. Why? Because they're pretty secure in themselves and they know who they are, they know whose they are. And that doesn't mean they know everything. Everybody's working on something. So I don't want people who are still trying to find themselves and figure out who they are. I don't want you to feel that you're not grateful. Yeah, you probably are grateful, but gratitude helps to improve self-esteem. Gratitude helps to improve energy and health. We talked about it as it relates to health earlier, but as far as energy, when you're grateful, you are just so happy to get your day going, to get started, to do some of the things that you want to do. Why? Because you're grateful. You can't wait. You look forward to the day. Gratitude makes us happier and more optimistic. People who are grateful, they tend to see the glass as half full as opposed to half empty. And I know that's an overused phrase, but it's so important. Why? Because there's so many things going on, and there's so many chances and opportunities that everyone has to just kind of be a negative Nelly. And negative Nellies, sometimes they just don't know how to be grateful. And the great thing about gratitude is we can learn it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Grateful people are more generous and forgiving. Why? Because they're so grateful for everything that they have. They are. They're grateful and they understand that the things that they have, whether they're materialistic, whether it's their health, whether it's their family, whatever, they know, they understand that it is not a guarantee to have these things. And the very fact that you do have these things and that you are in these positions is something to be grateful about. As far as forgiving, people who are grateful, it's easier for them to forgive. That doesn't mean that everybody has that down because forgiving somebody who's done something to you, it can kind of be hard. But when you are grateful, easy to forgive. I remember talking to my late grandmother, and I remember asking her, "Grandmother, how is it that you're always in a good mood and you have a good attitude?" And one of the things my grandmother told me, and I'll never forget it, is she said that she is so grateful for everything that's happened to her. And she gave me an example of how people helped her when she needed help. She spoke specifically about when she was traveling on a train to Washington with, I believe she said she had my aunt and she had my mom, and I think she might have been pregnant with my other aunt. And she talked about how she was on this train with these two small toddlers, and one of them, there was some stuff going on, and how she had back in the day, back in those days, there were those big buggies. Now she was trying to get the buggy off the train, and my grandmother was a little bitty thing, maybe I think she said she weighed less than 100 pounds while she was pregnant. So anyway, this man comes out of nowhere, grabs, she says, my mom, helps her off the train and helps her to get to where she needed to get so that she can get her ride. My grandmother says she never forgot about that. She saw people as basically good, is what I'm getting at. She saw that people want to help people and people care about people. And that grateful attitude is what caused my grandmother to always be in a good mood. And when I say that my grandmother was always in a good mood, I never saw my grandmother really, really angry or upset. She always looked for the positive in everything. So grateful people are happier and they are more optimistic. And when I think of that particular benefit, I always think of my grandmother. Grateful people, they tend to live in the present. Why? Because so many things happen. You can't do anything about the past. None of us can. What happened in the past happened. And I know I can personally tell you, I know for me, it is very difficult sometimes to let go of some stuff and not ruminate on things that have happened in the past. But if we're grateful, we can focus on what's here right now in front of us and just be happy and grateful for it. For example, today, here when I'm recording, it's sunny outside. It's beautiful. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I love it. I'm grateful for the season today. I'm grateful for just being able to enjoy today. So I'm here in the present. Is winter coming? Yes. Is it going to be raining like crazy? It will, but I can't trip on that right now. Right now, I choose to live in this present moment, right now, right here, today. Gratitude lowers stress, anxiety, and negative thought. Why? Because when we're stressed and we're worried about things, our blood pressure just races, boom, 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 boom. And our mind just races. You can hear people say, I have racing thoughts. I have this, I have that. And I'm not saying that those people are not grateful and that they don't practice gratitude. But what I am saying is that studies show that when we are grateful and when we live a life of gratitude, we have a lifestyle of gratitude, it tends to lower our stress. It tends to lower our anxiety and negative thoughts. I think about my current situation. At this time last year, I was so stressed out. I was working, and I've said this before, at a very, very toxic job where I was being harassed on a daily basis, discriminated against, and all the things. I was so stressed out to the point where I was having migraine headaches, blinding migraine headaches every single day. My blood pressure was through the roof. My blood sugar numbers were also through the roof, where they were talking about adding another medication into my medical regimen. And I had these thoughts. I was just sad all the time. Well, I left that job. And since I left, it's been almost a year, it's been unbelievable. My stress levels have just disappeared pretty much. They took my blood pressure, my doctor at one point wanted to take me off of all the blood pressure medicine. Why? Because my blood pressure was low. I'm not stressed about anything. They asked me, what did I do? And I'm like, I quit my job. My A1C numbers, the last time I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, they're so low, they're going to take me off the medicine the next time I visit if my numbers stay low. So I'm saying all that to say, I'm giving these benefits to you, and they're benefits that have been researched, many of them scientifically studied. But this is one that I know for a fact is true. I am grateful for the situation that I am in now. Do I wish I could have stayed longer on my job to get a higher retirement? I do, but I'm grateful that I got out of that particular job alive and that I actually have a retirement. So, saying all that to say, living a life of gratitude lowers stress, anxiety, and it helps us to manage negative thoughts. People who are grateful, they tend to be generous and kind to others. So as a result, it improves relationships. And that is something that is so important because as social beings, we want to make sure that we maintain and build good and healthy relationships. And it's one of those things that it's a learnable skill. So when we talk about gratitude, people may say, well, I'm always thankful, I'm always grateful. That's great. But let's go a step further. Let's have an attitude of gratitude. And let's look at trying to live that, demonstrate that every single day, not for others, but for ourselves. Practicing gratitude provides perspective and helps you to look for the good in life. With so many things going on today, with the economy, we just came out of a pandemic, with gas prices, there are so many reasons and things that we can find to complain about and to be negative about. But if we take some time to just look at the good things, when you're practicing gratitude, that's actually what you do. You look for things, you look for the good things in life. You look for things that make you be grateful. You think about your family is healthy. You think about, hey, I have a place to stay. You think about, hey, I have lights, I have electricity, I have clean water. There's some places that do not have clean water here in the United States. So you think about, I have clean water, I have electricity. A few days prior to this recording, power in the area where I lived kept going on and off. And this was just for a couple hours or so. So when it came back on, I was grateful. I was grateful to have power. And that might be something little to some people, but think about people in the world who don't have electricity, who don't have running water. So at the good things in your life, that is a sign that you are a grateful person. Instead of looking at things that you don't have, being grateful for what you do have and acknowledging those things and being appreciative of those things. Gratitude increases mental strength by making you more resilient and helping us to deal with adversity better. There was a couple of studies, and they are listed in the article that I am using primarily for my research, which I will put in the description box below. But there were a number of studies where they studied people who had been through very traumatic incidents. One of them was a war, one of them was the 9/11 situation, and they studied people who survived those particular situations. And what they found is that most of the people who survived them cited that being grateful helped them to be optimistic, even though the situation that they were in was horrific and unbearable. Their optimism they felt and their gratitude helped them to cope, and not only help them to cope with the situation, but help them to be resilient, to bounce back. Gratitude is something that helps us to be more resilient and helps us to build mental strength. The great thing about gratitude is we all have the capacity to learn how to be grateful and to cultivate gratitude. I will talk about how we can do that in future videos, but you can start by taking a few minutes every single day, just a few minutes to just focus on all the things that you do have and the people that you're grateful for. One of the things I do every morning is I write down at least 7 things that I am grateful for. Sometimes they're little things. It could be, like I said earlier, having warm, clean water to bathe in, having food to eat, my children are healthy. But I do this because when I am grateful, I find that I have a better day, have a better attitude, and I'm able to deal with things that are not always pleasant, like paying bills or talking to people who on the phone to get situations straight when you don't really want to talk to anybody. When we practice gratitude, or I find when I practice gratitude, or when I think of the things that I'm grateful for, the first thing in the morning, I have a much better attitude. And everybody is better for it, mostly myself. So, we have talked about a few of the benefits of being grateful and having an attitude of gratitude. If you have other ideas or you know other benefits, drop them down in the comments below. I read all the comments and I do respond to them. If you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, lets the algorithm know that, hey, you appreciate the content that I'm putting out, and consider sharing the video. Also, if you want to get more content like that, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bells so that you are notified every time I upload a video. Until our next video, have a nice day.